Can you believe it is already mid-August? We have just moved through some strong energy with the Lionsgate portal cosmic energy, which in my last video I did explain to you a bit about that, as well as how to really trust your own intuition when it comes into hearing about energy events that are out there and testing it out and seeing for yourself. So, did you feel through this one? Did you feel that strong energy? Have you felt the shifts and changes? Because not only were we going through that and all other cosmic energy, which is always happening in the cosmos out there with the planets and so on, but also I have been mentioning solar activity, and it's not to be minimized. Don't underestimate the power of the sun and the changes in the sun and how we're in this, what they call the solar maximum now, which is amping up and amping up and amping up until I think about early 2025. I do plan to make another video with more details about that. But we've been experiencing solar flare upon solar flare of high class level, as well as geomagnetic storms, and we are really impacted by that energy. With the Lionsgate portal period, which is where the Earth and the Sun, Sirius, known as our spiritual sun, and Orion all line up, which is all connected to why the ancient pyramids of Giza have that alignment to this event also. There's a strong connection with ancient times. We have that high energy coming in, beautiful energy coming in with its wisdom and its power. And this year being an 8-year, and the peak of the Lionsgate being the 8th of August, so the 888 energy that you might have heard about, it really was amplified. And with the solar flare activity on top of it, it's kind of like being blasted by a garden hose, and then behind it a fire hose from a fire truck, really full thrust. So you've got and then another one, so you've got like double triple whammy. That's what it was like. And so it's been really, this year has been a difficult year with the intensity of things, really so much deep healing for a lot of people. You would have felt like you have had all these things come up and that you're going through a deeper level of your healing, right back to when you were younger and past life stuff and your ancestry stuff, just everything coming together. And it really felt like that portal just amplified it, like being in the angels are showing me now an image of, I'm not sure what you call this device, but it's like a big tunnel that's a metal machine thing with all this air blowing or hot air. And if you're in it, it's like, from like the gravity kind of feeling of it. That's what it was like, right? And so it really worked on extra of blowing everything to smithereens, right? There was a gentle aspect to it also in layers and stages. It just depends on what you're going through, what was coming up for you. I'm also getting the image now of someone who wants to get their hair blonde. So there might be someone out there who's maybe getting some highlights or changes in your hair or going blonde or whatever it is. And they're showing me the image of like bleach. So if you really want to go blonde, it's like full on bleach, right? To have that white or, golden hair, whatever shade it is. And that is the strongest light. You can otherwise have aspects where there's some highlights, right? There is some blonde coming through, but it's more sort of golden, or it's more other colors coming through too, and it's softer. But it's that bleach that is the extra component of what we've been receiving. So even though bleach is like a harsh chemical, they don't mean it in that way. It's all for our own benefit and good. They show me like tough love. So we're just coming out of that now. On the 12th, that portal closed, and it was so palpable. So have a think about how you've been feeling recently, like the last few days. I have felt that from the 11th onwards, I have started to feel progressively better and better. And so much more energy is shifting and changing. And I'm now personally feeling in the high energy, as well as others that I know as well. So are you feeling that too? Do you feel like that it's like this thing came through and then it blasted and blasted and then it closed up. And so with that closing up, the angels have been conveying the idea of all your stuff and all your baggage and all your old stories being closed up. So if you were doing the work, even if you don't feel like you're fully recovered, we're still in a recovery process, right? It's like after you have a big bad flu, you have the lead up, right? Then you have the main sick stage. Then you have like just after you're sort of easing out, but you're still feeling it. And then there's the next phase where it's easing out and you're sort of in recovery. You're a lot better, but you're still just a bit slower or whatever until it all phases into normality. That's what it's like now, where we're phasing back into the new the new normal. And this is a spiritual new normal, not a false imposed new normal. This is what the Great Awakening's all about. So I'd love to hear how you're going. I pulled out an oracle card earlier just for myself, and actually it speaks volumes that we can all connect to, right? This is the energy of what I'm feeling right now. I love this card here. Okay, it says, I'm just trying to get it out of the light. Accelerated motion, right? There is that's that feeling of that Sirius star and that whole Lionsgate energy and the blasting of the light, right? And all the cosmic stuff happening. And this person who is looking up and just there's a sense of completion or you can apply this at the beginning as well as the end, but I'm feeling the end result of that now, and just that light coming on and that recognition and that knowing and that wisdom, and that through the darkness and the rocky periods there is light there and there is growth and everything's going to be more rapidly progressing. There's also the number 8, which connects to the whole Lionsgate thing, doesn't it? And we're in the 8th year. So now is the time where we can start to come into our power, because we've been building up towards that. It's been more of a challenge before, because with every number, there's like anything, right? There's the two sides. You can call it the good side and the bad side, the light side, the dark side, whatever it is. So with the 8, one of the aspects is power. Power can be abused by people with a darker mindset, and power can be amazing if you have a light mindset, where it's used for positivity, like your spiritual power, right? So we have power, and then on the dark side of it, disempowerment, right, for yourself personally. So a lot of the first part of this year there was a lot of disempowerment, being brought down, being out of your self-power. And you can read that in many different ways. Now we're rebirthing, coming back to ourselves, coming back to our power. This is the time I absolutely love. I always love the rebirthing stages, and when the higher energy comes in, I'm sure we all do. But it's so palpable, and it really means that we can get back to our core selves and what it is we're wanting to change, shift, and move into. Like everything just starts to happen and unfold. Signs and synchronicities. You might find that you've been having more sort of like vivid dreams lately, that your intuition is sparking back. I'll give you a really basic example, right? Because intuition really does play a role in our everyday lives. So for example, yesterday morning I was driving my daughter to work and we passed an Officeworks, which is an office supply store here in Australia. And, I've passed it millions of times, several times in a week. And it just stood out to me. And I was like, Officeworks. Been there for some time, and I just paused on it as I'm driving, blah blah blah. I come back home and then I realize that we're out of printer cartridge, and so I haven't bought any for like ages, and that's the place that I would go to get it, and I really needed it because I really importantly needed to print something out that day. So then later I could go and grab it. So that's an example of intuition, right? It's a sign, it's something sort of shining out to you. It's a moment. It can be really subtle. It can just be that you just think something for a second, or something just like washes over you. Sometimes you just think it's your normal thoughts, and it might click later that it was an intuition. And other times you get a strong intuitive feeling that this is an intuition and an energy with it. So that's what we're moving into now. It really is a wonderful time period. And just always keep in mind, like anything, there's no perfect. There's no, one of the things that really bothers me about things like the Lionsgate energy, when people are giving this, like talking about it online, is that is that simplistic or sort of washed over take on it, which is like it's all about manifestation, right? And yes, that can be a part of it, but it's more deeper than that. And we can't clasp onto superficiality or think, I'm just going to be headstrong and just think about what I want and that's it, right? It's to peel back all those layers and understand that this is an energy coming in to help support us, to help us in our spiritual and personal evolution, to pull outside of ourselves what is needing to be, healed, released, resolved, so that we can more come into our divine selves and our authenticity. That's what it's about. And if there is something you're wanting to birthing, we all have wishes and dreams and things that we really want to genuinely move into and change. This is the time for that. That yes, in that case, the manifestation element, and 8 is all about manifestation too. It is about bringing things into fruition, the harvest. When you're putting your power into things, when you are filled with the light, and when you are moving ahead in that accelerated motion, with your intention, and you've done the work on yourself, you've done the clearing, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You can still have some residue. It's okay, because it takes time to heal. And you carry that forward, and you have something in your heart, such as whatever it is, a job change you want to do, spiritual work you want to do, a goal or a project or whatever it is for you want to move. Now those beginning steps can take place because you've done the work. So it's not about like, I want $1 million and that's what the Lionsgate's about. No, put all that aside. It's do the work, hold into the power of your dream, and then allow it to do its thing in the right timing and moment, which is the now time. Now is the time to start moving ahead. You can feel that shift. Let me know how it feels for you and how the changes are for you. And if you're still going through it, be kind on yourself. Trust me, I've really had a hard time this year. And in recent times, like a lot of physical pain, which mental, emotional too, but it's the physical pain when it's very, very harsh, when it's very chronic and ongoing and repetitive. It's difficult. And so the solar activity brings about all these symptoms like headaches and migraines and body pains and all sorts of things. So pay attention to that. Okay. And I wanted to pull out some cards for today and just see where it goes. So this one, stand in your power. And again, look, it's very sort of cosmic. It's up there and it's grounded, but it's very much about, we're talking about power here now. This is about setting your boundaries, right? You've done the hard work and you've been humble. The whole earth is being humbledized, if you like, or at least the ones with the goodness in their hearts, right? Because, we're going through hard times, hard financial times, hard collective times as a whole, with everything going in and the politics and the wars and all that stuff, right? And your own personal hardships, mental, emotional, and traumas and all the rest of it. And the light's shining down on that and saying, you're rewarded for this. And reward doesn't mean your $1 million and your Porsche. You know the true reward in you as a spiritual soul. And sometimes when we're going through those, or oftentimes when we're going through those really hard times, you can't think about things like abundance and manifestation always. You're just not in the right mindset, and you probably have a very negative attitude towards it as well. Or negative things come up like jealousy and, pessimism or whatever it is. But it's about being true to you and bringing your truth and your integrity and your honor and your humbleness, your authenticity into the light, and allowing it to awaken something new in you. There's been a lot of sort of death energy, right, in terms of death of the old ways, death of your dying out of your old stories, the dying out of how you used to do things, the dying out of who is in your friendship circles, who, supports or doesn't support you, the dying out of people that are just being toxic, the dying out of all the old traumas, and your old ego identity and who you identify as, who that old person was, and allowing the new to come in that wants to come in, that is getting bigger and bigger and brighter and deeper. And that's that soul part of you, that higher self part of you. That's what it's all about. So let's see if there's any other cards from this pack. One of my faves, intuition, trusting your intuition now, right? We're in that. Okay, so I see that circle now is representing like that portal, and the cosmic energy is in it, right? And it's looking into that, and there's a door behind you with all the light. And you're in the blue hood, right? This is very much like the, it's the two, so it's the high priestess in the classical tarot. And it's trusting in your own guidance and inner wisdom now, right? You've done the work, you can hood over yourself and go, I'm in this, I trust in myself, I'm receiving my own intuition and guidance, and I'm taking it slow and until I know to go. That's what I'm getting. Slow until I know to go. A rhyme with similar to that came up maybe a couple of months ago was something like, you need to know to grow. Now it's go slow to go. Okay. So we've come out of the healing side and moving into your own intuition. All right, let's see if there's anything else that wants to be said for us for now moment when you're watching this for August. Okay, let's do past, present, future is what I'm feeling here. So for the past, perfect. So we've been going through these cosmic cycles, right? And also the moon cycles with this. I feel like the next big moon, whether it's the new moon or the full moon, I'm out of touch right now with the moon cycle, but pay attention to those moon cycles. And I'm also getting the eclipse, which will be coming up. It might be something like November or something like that. We're building up to that. There might be some super moons coming up, or the feeling of like a super moon energy. You know, we're going through the cycles, and to trust in that and always know, let the recent times be a lesson. When you move out of that very difficult dark cycle, which feels like it's been going on for so long, and you're finally coming into the good part, when you're in the good part, then you can know, look, it does change, right? Energy is not meant to stay the same. It always moves. Everything is in a cycle, like the seasons. And then for the present position, we have courage, which is perfect for that 8 energy, right? It's now time to have the courage to move forward. It's been difficult. Like I feel a lot of from where you've come from is so heavy, so dense, so dark. There's this volcanic energy. So it could represent some kind of volcanic energy. In my last video, I mentioned I felt like earthquakes coming up. So that could be continuous too, because I'm seeing some cracks. Could be a big one, as well as so this volcanic energy. That can also represent the sun energy. Just move. Okay, fire. Yeah, I am feeling fire. Oh, okay. So it might be another kind of fire, wildfire, or non-natural event. With the fire energy, this is about being brave in this particular card right now to take that next step. And I'm drawn to the word blood there. Bloodstone is a crystal associated with this, but I'm really feeling like you've gone through this period. When you think about your bloodlines, you've been doing a lot of work on yourself and your bloodline, your DNA, your ancestry, whether you know it or not. Many of us that are on the spiritual path are doing the work, not just for ourselves, but all the generations before us. And so this feeling of you've been carrying all this stuff in your blood through the bloodlines, and you're the brave one, you're the warrior. Keep moving ahead. Even if you felt stagnant, it's all part of it because it's been too much. You're just this one little old soul, and you've had to deal with the luggage of not just yourself in this lifetime and all the stuff. This is all your stuff, right? Let's keep piling it on. And then you got your parents' stuff, and then you got all the other generations, and you got your past lives, and it goes on and on and on, right? That's too much for one soul to bear sometimes, right? So you've done so well. I really feel with that card, it's you to be rewarded for that. And then for future position, so moving into, this is storm energy. So even though we go through the good periods and we go up and have our highs, nothing stays the same, right? We're also going to go through the more difficult periods as well, but it's in a new way. There'll be new storms for the new energy. And with that, I really feel the storm energy around the collective energy. So it could be like political as well or environmental. But because, yeah, that does feel like an environmental disruption. I've mentioned earthquakes, fires, volcano, sort of storm in the water there. So keeping that in mind, I'm really drawn to Hawaii as well, I'm feeling. So perhaps some more activity or something like that in that region. Um, um, and just also attacks on humanity. And I really just see that, but I see the lightning also as like sometimes the light has to be powerful to come through, to crack through the more oppressive energy or anything that really needs to be shaken and looked at. So, so that will be interesting moving forward to see how that manifests. Let's have a look now at a more softer card, which are these ones, which are just lovely. I love these. These are called Work with Your Light. Let's see. I got this card this morning. Sisterhood of the Rose, Beauty and Devotion, Priestess, Mystic, Teacher. Okay, these are really beautiful cards. They're very faint and hard to see. So there is a pyramid shape, or triangle shape there with the water. Gives off Atlantean vibes. There's that kind of priestess, sisterhood kind of vibes there. Very devotional, very sacred feminine energy, Mother Mary, anything like that. And it really comes into prayer and intuition. I really feel like these two go really well together. Going into yourself to receive guidance and answers, but also sisterhood. We've done the work, right, of clearing out all those who do not resonate with us, who just they don't serve us. They're not people that are just not really on our wavelength or supporting us or just like giving out as we give, and now bringing in more of a sisterhood and resonating, even if it's with people in completely different countries coming together. Now it's the time. A lot of us have been waiting for that next level of soul tribing, of soul family, of having a deeper soul connection with people, and more rewarding, more valuable, and uplifting, rather than all the opposite, right? But it's also holding a space for that, and also just the idea of groups getting together. But I feel it's just the beginning for all of this. This is just forming, emerging. So for some people, it will be very evident, and other people, it will take a while still to roll in, or it will come in layers. It's like we're healing and growing in layers still, and so will this evolve. And that also comes into the kind of work that we're doing, because that also would relate to work I'm doing. I had to step back a lot due to like physical pain and so on. But I'm also working so hard when I can to bring stuff together. So there'll be more of bringing groups together also in a spiritual way, for spiritual support and development and education. And, I'm planning things with courses and Zoom groups and stuff. So that's really speaks volumes about that. And it's also bringing back a sense of our ancient selves, our ancient wisdom coming to the fore, because we've been so programmed in this lifetime to not be ourselves, basically, to build up all these walls and to believe in all these really illusions about what we should be. And we were so far from who we were inside that we had to fight through all of this for years and years as we spiritually grow on our journey to bring out our true selves. And even if you have been your true self a lot for the last 10 years or so, like I have, there's still layers, right? And we grow, and then we become deeper and more spiritually connected. And so now what I'm feeling as the energy has really been going next level is that there's more of a merging. So as that higher energy comes in, and we've done our processing and our density has really been worked on so much, our energy is more ready to bring in and merge with the higher energy onto ourselves and take us to a deeper place, higher and deeper, which is just beautiful. Okay, and then in traditional tarot cards here, this one represents, pick it. It's bringing up that game Pick Up Sticks. Remember that game Pick Up Sticks when you were young? There were all these sticks, and you had to like pick it up without knocking others over or something like that. So it's bringing up that. That's a really like fun memory. But also like, okay, we're picking up our pieces now, right? We're picking up our pieces. We're dusting things off. We've done a lot of energy work. So I've never seen this before in this card, but right now, right, it looks like it's showing me like those, those straw brooms, like a witch would use. It's a straw broom that you would use to clear energy, and to protect yourself, right? Like when you sweep in your home, you're sweeping away all the dirt and you're sweeping away the bad energy. So I feel that this has been protecting us. It's a bit worn, it's a bit scattered. We've got to bundle it all up, right? And allow it time to heal as well. And you kind of feel like you've just come out of a war zone, right? So see that body. It's showing me too that there's still going to be periods where we feel exhaustion. So that's something we've been experiencing a lot of, where it's just like you're so exhausted, you're not sleeping properly, you just suddenly want to nap out of nowhere, or you can't do anything. And to trust in those processes, because in those times we are healing, even though it feels like we're not moving, nothing's happening. It can be so frustrating because you've got all this stuff to do, but you're actually healing and you're recovering. Always allow yourself the recovering time. And I feel that that word recovery is very strong right now and important as well. Let's just see if there's anything else. Just feeling one more. Last message. Thank you. Okay. All right. 6 of coins. So have a look at that one. This is the time to be fed, right? We have been humble. See how these people are quite humble too, right? There's that same feeling of humble that's come through several of the cards, right? That's what I'm seeing. See that? Okay. And so we are now going to be fed. Now everything is coming into fairness and balance. See the scales there? So we talked about abundance before. So now the coins, start to drop, right? Drop from the sky. In fairness and balance. And we will receive. To always know that you will receive. So even if you're doing it tough, you're going to receive just the amount you need or extra, but you'll always be bottom base minimum given what you need to survive. And then further from that, we're moving from survival to the next level of moving out of that old lower paradigm into something new and brighter, and that we will be, looked after. So to keep that faith in that and allow the next stages to reveal themselves of what we need to do to further know and grow, and just to honor yourself for where you've been at. You've done such a great job, and enjoy this time period or what's coming up. And I look forward to talking to you next time.